Hello, and welcome back to English Mastery Hub and Study English with me. This is Karen, and you are in Karen's Corner. By now, I hope you've registered on our website so you too can make use of the awesome features to be found here. Once again, we're going to look at a blog, and the blogs are found on the very right-hand side of the page. Our blog today is how to navigate awkward social situations with grace. And I'm sure, like me, many of you have found yourself at some time or another in an awkward social situation. So this will be useful for all of us. It is at a C1 to C2 level, so there may be words that you are not familiar with. Do not despair. You can add those to your glossary. Think of the glossary as your own personal dictionary, specially created for you. And you can add these words to your glossary. Here is self-deprecating. You can click on it and the meaning will come up. It means expressing disapproval or being critical of oneself. When we are critical of oneself, in this case, it's in a humorous way. It's not to be really critical, but to make other people laugh. You can play the word to get the pronunciation, and you can translate it into your own home language to help you remember it easier. That is the glossary. The glossary we will look at again once we have read our blog. There is an audio file that you can listen to in your own time. But for now, let's read our blog on how to navigate awkward social situations with grace. Awkward social situations are an inevitable part of life. Whether you've just forgotten someone's name at a networking event, and doesn't that happen to all of us? Spilled your drink in front of a colleague, or found yourself trapped in a heated debate at a dinner party, these moments can make even the most confident person feel flustered. The key to managing them lies in responding with tact, humor, and emotional intelligence. Firstly, maintain composure. Your initial reaction often sets the tone for the rest of the interaction. When an awkward moment arises, take a deep breath and pause before responding. A measured response rather than a panicked one signals confidence. This approach also allows you to assess the situation calmly rather than reacting impulsively. 2. Use light humor. Humor can diffuse tension if used appropriately. Self-deprecating remarks, remember we put that in our glossary, provided they are mild, can help normalize the situation and reassure others. However, steer clear of sarcasm or jokes at someone else's expense, as these may exacerbate discomfort. They may make people feel worse. The goal is to lighten the atmosphere, not draw attention to the mishap. Redirect the conversation. If the conversation becomes strained, subtly change the subject to something neutral or positive. Asking open-ended questions is an effective technique. It shifts the focus away from the awkwardness and re-engages the other person. For example, If an embarrassing comment has been made, you might smoothly pivot by inquiring about a recent holiday or mutual interest. Number 4, practice empathy. Often the awkwardness stems from someone feeling embarrassed or misunderstood. By acknowledging their perspective, you help them feel respected and supported. Phrases such as, I can see why you'd feel that way, or that must have been challenging, can validate their emotions without escalating the discomfort. Number 5, know when to exit gracefully. Sometimes the most elegant solution is to excuse yourself from the situation entirely. This does not mean abandoning the other person abruptly. Rather, it involves politely signaling that you must attend to something else, allowing both parties to regroup. Number 6, reflect and learn. Awkward moments, while uncomfortable, can be valuable teachers. Afterwards, reflect on what happened and consider how you might handle a similar scenario in the future. This self awareness can help you become more resilient and adaptable in your social interactions. Final thoughts. Navigating awkward social situations with grace is less about avoiding them altogether and more about managing them with sensitivity, presence, and kindness. With practice, you can transform these moments from sources of anxiety into opportunities for connection and personal growth. Right, the grammar notes. The grammar used in this article is subjunctive forms and modal verbs for politeness. Now, subjunctive forms are not often used in English, but we use them to express things that are not real, such as wishes, suggestions, demands, and hypothetical situations, or things that are uncertain. Modal verbs, on the other hand, are used more for politeness. An explanation: modal verbs like might, could, and should are often used in English to make suggestions politely or soften advice. If I were you, I might do this. So, if you want to know more about grammar, go to the courses, open the grammar book, and under the contents you will see modal verbs are on slide 32. But I want to focus on slide 46, which is tips on how to learn modal verbs. Type 46 in the window, press enter, and here we see some innovative ways in how to study modal verbs. Write your own examples. Create sentences using different modal verbs to understand their usage correctly. Practice with dialogues. Write or speak short dialogues incorporating modals naturally. And then the last one for fun, spot modal verbs. Identify modal verbs. Challenge yourself in a book or article that you are reading to identify the modal verbs. And that will help you to be able to learn them more effectively. Right, to go back to the blog, I wanted to talk for a minute about the glossary. The glossary is found under the control panel, My Glossary. Think of this as your own personal dictionary. The glossary has a daily vocabulary tracker tracking how many words you've learned each day, and also the status of whether they just learned, whether you're confident in the use, or whether you use them daily. Below that, you can add new words and you get a list of all the words you've learned. You may push on this and you will hear the pronunciation. You may change the status of a verb or a word, and you may add reminders to help you remember them. This is a wonderful tool to improve your English vocabulary. Going back to our blog, we're going to look at the questions that come with the blog. And before we go on to the questions, I want to thank you for watching thus far with me. It shows that you're committed to learning English, and I ask you to watch with me to the end. I'm sure it will benefit you. And to remember our slogan for this series from Albert Einstein: people who never make mistakes never try anything new. So don't be afraid of making mistakes. At least it shows that you are practicing, and that is the only way to improve your English. So I'm going to answer the questions for you. I want you to think up your own answers, see if they agree with me. Let me know in the comments. I'm waiting to hear your comments. And remember, your answer does not have to be a complicated sentence. It can be a simple sentence as long as the grammar is correct. So, question number 1: why is taking a brief pause before responding beneficial in an awkward situation? Because, as we remember, taking a brief pause helps you to give a measured response rather than a panicked one, something that just comes into your head. So it is better to give a measured response. Secondly, how can light humor diffuse social tension? It always helps to laugh. And so humor used correctly can help normalize the situation and take the bad feeling out of a situation. Thirdly, what role does empathy play? Empathy means to understand what someone else is feeling. So, how does empathy play a part? Empathy helps the other person to feel respected and supported because you say, I can see why you feel that way, and therefore they don't feel misunderstood. Fourth question: why might redirecting a conversation be more effective than addressing awkwardness directly? Sometimes it's just too much effort to go into a difficult situation. And in that case, redirect, pivot, and ask a question. How did you enjoy your holiday, by the way? And in this way, you deflect the situation and change it from being a bad situation. And the last question: in what ways can reflecting on past awkward remarks improve future interactions? Well, of course, if we reflect on something, we need to learn from that. It's no good reflecting and not learning. If we reflect on what happened, learn from it, that we don't make the same mistake again. All mistakes are worthwhile as learning tools as long as we learn from them and move on. So I hope you've enjoyed the blog today. Remember, you are welcome to join our free English grammar course and improve your grammar skills, or join our free weekly English speaking class and improve your speaking skills. And if you'd like to make use of a tutor, if there's something that you're not sure about and you need advice, please contact one of our experienced tutors. They will be only too happy to help you. Thank you and goodbye till next time.